Hello, YouTube fam. Get ready for an amazing video experience. Welcome aboard as we set sail on a journey through visa requirements for Swedish citizens. Visa requirements for Swedish citizens are administrative entry restrictions by the authorities of other states placed on citizens of Sweden. As of 2025, Swedish citizens have visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to 188 countries and territories, ranking the Swedish passport fifth in the world according to the Henley Passport Index. As a member state of the European Union, Swedish citizens enjoy freedom of movement within the European Economic Area (EEA). The Citizens Rights Directive defines the right of free movement for citizens of the EEA. Through bilateral agreements, freedom of movement is extended to Switzerland, and all EU and EFTA nationals are not only visa-exempt but are legally entitled to enter and reside in each other's countries. In order to travel to another country, a Swedish citizen requires a passport, except within the Nordic Passport Union, where no identity card is formally required. A passport is also not required for holders of the Swedish National Identity Card for travel to European countries except Belarus, Russia, Ukraine and United Kingdom, Dominica, French Overseas Territories, Georgia, Montserrat and Tunisia. In the next phase, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of dependent, disputed, or restricted territories and exploring its real-world applications. Visa requirements for Swedish citizens for visits to various territories, disputed areas, partially recognized countries, and restricted zones. Europe visa required. ID card de facto valid. Mount Athos special permit required for days, €25 for Orthodox visitors, €35 for non-Orthodox visitors, €18 for students. There is a visitors quota, maximum 100 Orthodox and 10 non-Orthodox per day, and women are not allowed. Brest and Grodno visa not required for 10 days. Ukraine visa issued by Russia is required. Visa-free access for 3 months. ID card valid and buffer zone in Cyprus. Access permit is required for traveling inside the zone, except civil use areas. Visa not required. ID card valid and main permit issued by the local police required for staying for less than 24 hours, and permit issued by the Norwegian police for staying for more than 24 hours. From 1 July 2019, Swedish citizens are eligible for e-visa access for 8 days, visa-free for 90 days. ID card valid, visa-free. Multiple entry visa to Russia and 3-day prior notification are required to enter South Ossetia. Visa-free for 45 days, extendable at immigration offices. ID card valid. Africa special permit required outside Asmara. Visa covers Asmara only. To travel in the rest of the country, a travel permit for foreigners is required. 20 Eritrean NAPFA. E-visa for 3 months within any year period. Visitors pass granted on arrival, valid for days for £sterling. Permission to land required for £sterling. Yacht ship passenger for Tristan da Cunha Island or £20 for Gough Island, Inaccessible Island or Nightingale Islands, Western Sahara controlled territory. Undefined visa regime. Visa required 30 days for $30, payable on arrival. Asia Hainan visa on arrival for 15 days. Available at Hiko Milan International Airport and Sanya Phoenix International Airport. Visa not required for 15 days for traveling as part of a tourist group. 5 or more people. Visa not required for 90 days. Protected area permit PAP required for whole states of Nagaland and Sikkim and parts of states Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh. Restricted area permit RAP required for all of Andaman and Nicobar Islands and parts of Sikkim. Some of these requirements are occasionally lifted for a year. Visa not required for 90 days. Outside Pyongyang, people are not allowed to leave the capital city. Tourists can only leave the capital with a governmental tourist guide. No independent moving. Visa not required. Arrival by sea to Gaza Strip not allowed. Visa not required for 90 days. Nagorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Province OIVR permit required. Tajikistan Isamani and another special permit free of charge is required for Lake Sarastibet Autonomous Region. Tibet travel permit required $10 special permit. issued prior to arrival by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is required if visiting the following places: Atamurat, Shelton, Bashagas, Serix and Saratoga demilitarized zone, restricted zone, Undef zone and Gaja restricted zones. Caribbean and North Atlantic, visa not required for 3 months, visa not required for 30 days, visa not required. Bonea, Street, Eustatius and Sober, visa not required for 3 months, visa not required for 6 months. Visitors arriving at San Andres and Letitia must buy tourist cards on arrival, visa not required for 3 months, visa not required for 6 months. ID card valid if in transit to a third country, if staying for max 14 days, visa not required under the visa waiver program for 90 days on arrival from overseas for 2 years. ESTA required, visa not required for 3 months. ID card valid if arriving at L'Espérance Airport in the French part of the island, visa not required for 90 days, visa not required under the visa waiver program for 90 days on arrival from overseas for 2 years. ESTA required. Oceania electronic authorization for 30 days. Ashmore and Cartier Islands special authorization required. Clipperton Islands special permit required. Visa-free access for 31 days. Visa not required under the visa waiver program for 90 days on arrival from overseas for 2 years. ESTA required, visa on arrival valid for 30 days is issued free of charge. 14 days visa free and landing fees or tax averse if not going ashore. Entry permit required in its states. Minor outlying islands special permits required for Baker Island, Howland Island, Jarvis Island, Johnston Atoll, Hinman Reef, Midway Atoll, Palmyra Atoll and Wake Island. South Atlantic and Antarctica, a visitor permit is normally issued as a stamp in the passport on arrival. The maximum validity period is 1 month. Pre-arrival permit from the Commissioner required 72 hours month for pounds sterling. Antarctica and adjacent islands special permits required for Australian Antarctic Territory, Chilean Antarctic Territory, Heard Island and McDonald Islands, Peter I Island, Queen Maud Land, Ross Dependency. In the next segment, we'll be exploring non-ordinary passports and its implications for our subject matter. Holders of Swedish diplomatic passports have additional visa-free access to Russia. Holders of diplomatic or service passports of any country have visa-free access to Cape Verde, Ethiopia, Mali and Zimbabwe. Without further ado, let's move on to the topic of non-visa restrictions. Section Hernan Visa Travel Restrictions. List of common non-visa travel restrictions. The spotlight now falls on vaccination as we delve deeper into its details. Many African countries, including Angola, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Côte d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Rwanda, São Tomé and Príncipe, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Uganda, Zambia require all incoming passengers to have a current international certificate of vaccination. Some other countries require vaccination only if the passenger is coming from an infected area. Without further ado, let's move on to the topic of right to consular protection in non-EU countries. When in a non-EU country where there is no Swedish embassy, Swedish citizens as EU citizens have the right to get consular protection from the embassy of any other EU country present in that country. Swedish citizens may also seek assistance from public officials in the foreign services of any of the Nordic countries when in a country with no Swedish representation. This is afforded by the Helsinki Treaty, which states that public officials in the foreign services of any of the Nordic countries shall assist citizens of another Nordic country if that country is not represented in the territory concerned. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.